Wookiees live super old.
When Wookiees are born, do they look like us? It's like our ears never stop growing, but like their hair never stops growing kind of thing. They just become hairier and hairier. You see a baby Wookiee and you're like, that's just a human.
No.
That's a human baby. No?
No, I don't think so.
That's my headcanon.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a theory that I like.
Hey gang, I'm Andy.
And I'm Ronnie.
And we are...
Funnecessary.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Did you forget?
I did.
He always forgets.
I forget sometimes.
You know what I haven't forgotten?
What?
Star Wars is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
I'm always remembering
what
that.
a great time to be alive.
Basically the only reason it's good to be alive.
Yeah. So with Clone Wars, Rebels, all the comics that are coming out that are so good, all the novels that are coming out that are so good, and all the movies that are coming out that are so good. There's a lot of Star Wars fan theories out there. Ugh. And me and Ronnie tend to poop on them.
We're pretty negative.
But we've ripped some Star Wars fan theories apart in some other videos.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about 3 Star Wars fan theories that I think are well thought out, well executed, and fit with the Star Wars lore.
Andy?
Yeah.
Who are you?
The first one I'm going to talk about is a pretty well accepted theory at this point. Darth Sidious drained the life out of Padme while she was giving birth to Luke and Leia in order to sustain Anakin's, Darth Vader's, life during his traumatic surgery. It gets rid of the really dumb, she lost the will to live, like she was so brokenhearted over Anakin. The love of her children was not enough to like motivate her to stay alive. Like no, the dark side was draining her essence to feed Anakin's.
And also the trope of just like, of course a woman would die of sorrow.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she would die of an emotion because that's how women react to things.
That's an absurd reason for her to die. You know, being choked by Anakin and then having her life essence drained while giving birth, that's enough to kill someone.
Yeah.
And also it kind of means that maybe Emperor Palpatine did know how to cheat death a little bit there, and like he did have some of that dark side power from Plagueis. So I like that theory a lot. Number two. This one's gonna take a wee bit of explaining. So, Chewbacca.
Great guy. Salt of the earth.
Rey's father. No.
What?
Chewbacca knew Yoda during the Clone Wars. They were buddies. In episode 3, Chewbacca and Yoda, they fight together at the Battle of Kashyyyk. Chewbacca was also buddies with Ahsoka. They knew each other during the Clone Wars, and they teamed up and fought some Trandoshan slavers. So after Order 66 happens, Chewbacca helps Yoda escape Kashyyyk. There's nothing to say that Chewie didn't stay in touch with some people in the Rebel Alliance. You know, Ahsoka was a big part of the Rebel Alliance till just before A New Hope. That's nothing to say that Chewie didn't become buddies with Bail Organa or stay in touch with General Kenobi. Maybe before Obi-Wan headed to the bar in Mos Eisley, he sent Chewie a text and was like, hey, make sure you're in Mos Eisley. Luke gets in the fight with Dr. Avanzi and Ponda Baba. Ben is talking to Chewie and we don't hear any of the dialogue. They have a solid 30-45 seconds of talking, and then Chewie introduces Obi-Wan and Luke to Han. So this fan theory says that Chewie was a rebel spy on the down low while working with Han. Like, Chewie's still pulling crime jobs with Han, but every so often he just sends Rebel Alliance a text. Like, do you need some intel on the shipping lanes? Like, I know Imperial cargo routes go through here. Like he's eyes and ears. He's not like doing missions for him. But then when Obi-Wan needs to get the Chosen One's son off of Tatooine, he sends out a text to his Rebel agent. Like, yo, my man, Chewie, help a brother out. It would explain, one, why Chewie, why didn't you tell Han that you were best friends with Jedi during the Clone Wars? Like, Han's like in the Millennium Falcon like an asshole. Like, oh yeah, the Force, I call it luck. Like, your best friend fought with Jedi during the Clone Wars. Like, what the hell, Chewie? Say something to him.
Yeah.
And then 2, maybe that's why Han came back at the Battle of Yavin. Maybe Chewie was like more invested in the Rebel Alliance than we thought and was like, Han, dude, we gotta go back. We gotta help him out. Han, we gotta help him out. Han, dude, like, we gotta help him out.
Yeah.
Han's like, fine, all right, let's go back.
That's interesting. I like that. I didn't
I
know.
like that fan theory.
I didn't know about the history of Chewie and the rebellion. That's
I
pretty
don't
cool.
know if it holds up as much as the first one, like under scrutiny, but like at the very least, it explains why Chewie never mentioned to Han, who's very, atheistic about the Force, of like, there's no way Chewie doesn't believe in the Force. He's best friends with Yoda and Ahsoka. Last theory I'm going to talk about, and this one is also a bit of a stretch, but I really like this fan theory. This might be my favorite one out of all of them. Boba Fett killed Rey's parents. No.
You keep bringing Rey back into it. I'm fighting every time.
Boba Fett killed Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. And this is a fun one, so strap yourselves in.
Oh boy.
What we have evidence-wise, we know that whoever killed Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru also murdered all of the Jawas that sold Luke 3PO and R2. Obi-Wan says that the shots are too precise for Sand people. It could only be Imperial troopers. We do not see stormtroopers yet in canon use flame projectiles. We see it in Force Awakens. The First Order stormtrooper has a big flamethrower. It's awesome. Love that scene. We don't see that in the original trilogy. No stormtroopers that we've seen in canon have like flamethrowers. Beru and Owen were burned to death. We see their like skeletons all charred and broken, and the fire's still going, and Luke's standing there dramatically. Boba Fett works on Tatooine. Boba Fett is like based on Tatooine. He's always hanging out with Jabba. And then when Boba Fett sees Vader and Empire, Vader very pointedly, no disintegrations. So this fan theory states that the Empire, who is known to use bounty hunters when they're looking for very specific fugitives, like, the Crow the Falcon, or Vader hires bounty hunters to go after Dr. Aphra in the comics, things like that, that maybe the Empire tapped criminal organizations and was like, hey, we're looking for a blue and white astromech unit and a gold protocol droid. Boba Fett was on the hunt. Boba Fett wiped out those Jawas. Those Jawas led Boba Fett to the Lars homestead, and then Boba Fett murdered Beru and Owen and burned them alive. And Darth Vader was maybe a little salty when he found out about that. I'm the last person to be like, Boba Fett's the ultimate badass, and like, Boba Fett could take anyone in a... I'm not like a Mandalorian fanboy here who's just looking to make Boba Fett a bigger deal than he is. I think the fan theory fits, and I think it's a fun one, and I think it adds a new dimension to the Boba Fett Vader relationship.
At least adds something to his reputation. There are a lot of fans who are ride or die for Boba Fett. But if you just look at his interactions in movies, it's kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, he doesn't do much. And so it adds an interesting dynamic to the Boba Fett Vader relationship, and it adds an interesting dynamic to the Anakin and Owen relationship, which is very weird and random, and like they don't have a lot of screen time together, but like the fact that Vader's a little salty that this Mandalorian punk burned his stepbrother alive.
Is there theories out there that Owen and Beru kind of got Recon and Bran Starked? Like it's burned bodies, but it's not actually them. Like they're living things out in like Jakku or something like that.
No, there's no fan theories that they survived that I know of.
Now there is.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe they're Rey's parents.
What?
Oh, cracked it open.
Rey Lars. It's got a great
Rey Lars. That sounds very Star Wars.
I hope you enjoyed these Star Wars fan theories that I think are great. If there's any that you think are really solid, post them in the comments and I'll disagree with you, and then you'll get mad at me.
This is the extent of our positivity for the internet. Like, we have 3 theories that we agree with, and after that, you give us anything, we're shooting it right down.
Shooting it down.
Shoot it down like we're a stormtrooper, who is very accurate, by the way.
I will fight you.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ronnie.
I'm Andy.
The greats were great because they paint a lot.
Like Sabine.
Like Sabine.
It's been a rough year.
It has.
Not for Star Wars, though.
No! We've had, like, from this point back, we've had, like, almost 2 Star Wars movies in, like, the course of the last year.
Amazing.
That's a good year.
Yeah.
That's a good year. If we ignore everything else that's happened, that's a good year.